What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we got an exciting Enamorus Shoutcast. If you don't know what Enamorus is, I don't blame you. It literally was available for one day in Elite Raids back in February on Valentine's Day. But if you got one, and you can power it up, and it's good IVs for Master League, it's a really prime core breaker at the moment, able to do very well into the things that are common, like Tapu Bulu, Rhyperior, Yveltal. All three of those Pokemon are kind of being the circle, triangle of the meta at the moment, and things in between. But Enamorus has positive matchups in all of those things, and many other things as well, being that it's got flying and fairy typing. This trainer is backing up this Enamorus with a Rhyperior and a Kyogre, and it looks to me like we're going Rhyperior hunting in this video. So strap in, folks. I've heard this is going to be a good one. We're getting into the first game here with the Dialga. Pretty positive lead, considering that Enamorus is a flying type, or a fairy type here. But the problem with that is the flying type move of Fly is going to be resisted here. So, and the opponent probably knows they can take a move. Origin Dialga is pretty tanky, but that Dazzling Gleam is going to do quite a lot of damage. We could just go straight Fly at this point, but it looks like B. Richley might be looking to go for a farm down potentially here. And if he does, that would be actually kind of wild. Gonna go, look what we're doing. Are we gonna get the Fire Wind farm down? No, but we're catching the Iron Head on the Rhyperior. And that's going to do quite a bit of damage, but the Mud Slap that goes through does get the farm down. The opponent answers with a Therian Landorus here. We're going to see who wins the charge attack priority tie, and that is going to be the Rhyperior. But again, Enamorus, being a flying type, is going to force the Landorus here to actually go for a Stone Edge. And with all this energy, I don't think that they're going to be able to do it. So Fly number one's coming out. I imagine you just go straight Fly here, try and get these shields. The opponent does shield up here, attempting to get to the move before, or get to the Sandsear before the Enamorus can get to another move, but they do not know the counts for Fly to Fairy Wind, and honestly, neither do I. The opponent now puts both shields down, trying to get this Enamorus off the board. Clearly, whatever is in the back does not appreciate it, and they full send that Stone Edge in an attempt to eliminate the Enamorus, and Bree Rich is going for the Dazzling Gleam. Is this going to do enough to knock out? No, it hurts, and the opponent has a Yveltal in the back, and this is going to be game here as we go for the Dazzling Gleam. If this doesn't knock out, I'm going to be very surprised. I got my button ready for sure, dude. Yep. Beautiful. Good game. I'm told this is a 9-1 run, so this thing went off, and apparently it's really good. I wish I had one. If you guys were catching me on stream here on Thursday evening, y'all saw me try to do something similar with Articuno, and it didn't go well, as much as I really would have liked it to, because I was like, I'm thinking about all these matchups in Master League, and I'm like, man, you know what would do really good into this? Ice. You know what also beats Rhyperior, sort of, not really, not in the Sims anyway, but typing-wise, right? Flying Ice makes sense. The Shadow Rhyperior cannot take 2 player ups, whereas the non-Shadow can, so something that's worth noting. But B. Richley going for the overfarm, knowing that he can, and going for a cheeky little breaking swipe bait here, hoping the opponent shields because they need to preserve the HP. And that Rock Wrecker does a ton of damage. The opponent overfarming now after the attack drop, and the Rock Wrecker's coming through, and they no-shield the Rock Wrecker. Feels bad, man. I hate it, and it happens to me too, but they concede at that point. Good game. No, we're just steamrolling people today, apparently. All right, getting into the next game, we got a Rhyperior lead. This is a really good lead because you force them to go for the Rock Wrecker, and you're able to just fire off the Dazzling Gleams as it's 5, what is it, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. But he's going for the Rock Wrecker, potential catch here. The opponent maybe making a cheeky bait as well. Nope, they full sent that Rock Wrecker, and Rhyperior is going to be able to take it. And with the shield, or not the shield, the energy head start that it has, this Rhyperior is going to be able to get to a couple of breaking swipes before this Palkia can take it out. Breaking swipe number 1 is going to get the Palkia a attack drop, and a pretty solid chunk of its HP is now missing. And we're going for another breaking swipe. The opponent did not bother to throw their Aqua Tail here, and I think, man, oh, it's tempting, but you could just go for, you could just let this go and go for a farm down on Enamorus here. The opponent's going to be forced to go for the Aqua Tail, and that should honestly free up Kyogre as well. Not looking to go for the farm down, instead wanting to eliminate the energy on this Palkia, going immediately for the Fly here, and the opponent has the Rhyperior in the back, but Rhyperior is out of energy. I don't think it farmed up anything, but going for a Dazzling Gleam here, this is going to do a lot of neutral damage as it is a very heavy hitting move. Dazzling Gleam gets the shield, and in comes Kyogre with 2 shields, and the opponent goes for a move, and Bree Richley is content to just let this go. It's a breaking swipe, and he knows it. Breaking swipe is going to get the attack drop, but the opponent's got a Xerneas and down 2 shields. It's not doing anything, and that's a good game. Well played. This thing is absolutely cooking. Another positive matchup. This is what I would have liked to see. Bro, Enamorus is literally the one thing Oh man, I'm mad I didn't get that. I mean, there's no way that you actually go out on Valentine's Day, even if you don't have a Valentine, right? Like, elite raids in general are just not a great mechanic at all. Opponent's going for the Nature's Madness here. That actually does a lot of damage. This Enamorus is not bulky at all. Opponent safe swaps Kyogre and gets hard punished by the Kyogre. Oh, this is the only reason you run Kyogre at this point, is just to put it on these Rhyperiors. Going to be able to get a nice zero shield full farm down here, and even if that Bulu comes in, they are going to have to take the potential chance of eating this Blizzard. Now, it's not a Blizzard that is like... B. Richley's not running Blizzard here. However, the opponent does not know this, and they do decide to let it go, knowing that they probably didn't get up to the Blizzard. Thunder's one less than Blizzard, I believe. Enamorus can come in resisting this damage, and kind of has to, because the Rhyperior would just get decimated by the Bulu at this point. But going for the fly, taking out the Bulu, and the opponent has a Palkia in the back, getting to the last second. Last possible second with 1 HP. Maybe like 4. Maybe. Ooh!
Boom!
Good game. We love one-shotting things. I couldn't even keep up at the end, man. I thought they would shield that and Rhyperior comes in, but no, you just get destroyed. All right, anyway, next game here, we're gonna have Enamorus in the lead versus a Zacian. This is a very neutral, fairy on fairy action here. We're gonna see the Enamorus go for the fly first before the Zacian can do much, but you know what? Those flies hurt. Now, just in case if this is Wild Charge, this is gonna be a nasty catch. Going for the Wild Charge catch on the Rhyperior, dude, that's insane! And the opponent's gonna bring in the Landorus, and they're gonna have to go for a move, or they're gonna have to shield this, as this Rock Wrecker is gonna do a lot of damage, and they didn't go for the charge attack priority tie. The opponent's down in shield now. The Rhyperior is gonna get farmed quite a bit, and going for the breaking swipe, trying to get a little bit of chip damage off before going down, but the opponent's just gonna go straight for the Sandsear Swarm. And we're gonna probably see the Enamorus come back in, because the opponent's forced to go for Stone Edge for any meaningful damage into this Enamorus. Coming right in, but losing charge attack priority, apparently. I thought, you know, with the lack of bulk, I would have thought that, wow, it does. All right. I didn't know that Landorus would win charge attack priority there. I also don't know anything about Enamorus at all. But going for the snipe with the Kyogre, which the opponent gotten back. The Zacian comes back in. The opponent's going for the Wild Charge, most likely. This is not going to get shielded from B-Rich's Kyogre. Lots of damage, but it doesn't matter. Farm down here. What's the opponent going to have in the back? It's a Rhyperior going for the Surfs. Going for the waterfalls into the surf before going down to the final mud slap here. And then Enamorus cleans up in the back as it's got plenty of HP, but the opponent has a loaded Rhyperior here. And if they go for the breaking swipe, does he make the call? No, he's going to say we're going to shield up anyway. The breaking swipe does get shielded, but unfortunately this opponent now is going to give a full farm down to the Landorus. The Landorus is not going to get to a move, is it? Wait, is this a Sandsear? Is this Sandsear? Did they get it? No, it's a Stone Edge! Oh, the poor Enamorus.
Boom!
Taken out. Good game. Oh, we're taking a 4-1 set and getting right into the next game here. So we've got a Xerneas on the lead in this next game here. Pretty neutral into this whole team. But B-Rich is looking to catch that Moonblast here on the Rhyperior, looking to divert that energy because he would like to not have to shield the Enamorus. Now the opponent's going to come in with a Palkia. They are going to have to take 2 breaking swipes, it looks like, unless they go for this Aqua Tail right away. This is going to be an interesting one. The opponent is going to get the first shield from B-Richley with this Aqua Tail, and then the Aqua Tail, oof. Man, that would have done a lot of damage. I mean, it would have taken it out anyway, but these breaking swipes doing super effective damage are going to force a shield back off this Palkia unless the opponent wants to let it go, and this is a good shield because now what B-Richley's able to do here is he's able to take Switch instead, and we've also cleaned up the Kyogre from the game. Avalugg is going to come in, and Switch Advantage is exactly what the doctor ordered here, as Kyogre is going to come in and make short work of this poor little ice table, and Enamorus is going to swap in on the Xerneas here. B-Richley probably can just go for as many flies as possible here, and then honestly just let Kyogre wrap things up with the Surf. Now Surf it does cost more energy now, however, it also does more damage, so the opponent over-farming, I think, maybe a little bit? No, not even over-farming. But B-Richley, he's going in for it. He knows this is an Enamorus showcase, and he's going for the Enamorus sweep here, shielding up that Enamorus and going for the fly. How much is this going to do to his Xerneas? Maybe he just wants to find out. Almost knocks it out. Does the opponent cannot get to the move here, and they're going to swap into the ice table to try and snipe the Enamorus off the playing field, but unfortunately for them, they're just going to catch these hands with the Kyogre coming in and going for this Surf, and they're going to top left once the game is conceded. Well played. Now we're getting into the next game here. We've got Enamorus on the lead versus Primarina. All right, now I'm curious to see how this one goes because Primarina is not going to be good and it's not going to have a good time. I mean, well, the backline's not going to have a good time into the Primarina, more or less, but Primarina is also squishy enough that this Fly might actually do quite a lot of damage here. Fly not going to get shielded. The opponent now putting themselves in the farm down range, and because they're Waterfall, they're going to get to that Hydro Cannon in 5, and that was what B. Richley was banking on, was the opponent going for that Hydro Cannon, catches it on the Kyogre, and in comes the Zacian here to try and make work of the Kyogre. But I think they're going to have some trouble here. Surf could do a lot of damage, and now suddenly they're down a shield. Let's see how the opponent wants to respond here. They're going to go and look like they're, yeah, it looks like they're going to, I can't speak, dude, my tongue is tied. They're going to double up on Wild Charges here, and in comes the Rhyperior to take advantage of the debuff defense of this Zacian. Do we shield up a potential close combat or play rough here? B. Richley is content to let this play rough go. Most Zacian are just running play rough Wild Charge. I have seen a couple with close combat, but for the most part, they're not running close combat. Wild Charge is the only move this thing is going to get to right now, and in comes Primarina, but it's going to have to eat a Rock Wrecker or shield it up, and that's going to open up our Enamorus for this end game, as it's still healthy enough to hopefully get to a move. The opponent has a Xerneas. Okay, 2 flies might be enough here. Let's see. This is low fast move pressure from the opponent, so this is in a very good situation for B. Richley here. He could overfarm, but the opponent decides to let it go. Running Triple Fairy. Trainer, come on now. To their credit, they weren't running any Charmers, so they can have that. I will give that to them. Next game, we have another Xerneas in the lead here, and Enamorus is going to look to stay in most likely. And I don't know, maybe we're going to go for another Moonblast catch here on the Rhyperior. But if we catch a close combat or the opponent over farms on purpose, that could spell some disaster here for B. Richley. Looking for that catch. The opponent not throwing the close combat, coming in with Palkia. And unfortunately, if you guys don't know, Palkia loses these matchups to the Rhyperior, especially when you have 2 shields up on either side. B. Richley getting that attack drop with the Aqua Tail is nice, but he's going to look to just try and go for a farm down here potentially, or get the shield back with this next Breaking Swipe. Looks like the Breaking Swipe is going to get the shield from the opponent, and now it's going to come down to whether or not the opponent wants to throw an Aqua Tail or farm down. They go for the Aqua Tail. B. Richley's going to let this go, giving the Enamorus a little bit of farm, and once again, Palkia being off the table here probably opens up Kyogre to this backline here. The opponent has the Rhyperior. Kyogre is looking to cook in the back, as the Rhyperior and Xerneas have a tough time against it. However, that Xerneas has a ton of energy, which could be problematic here. In comes the Kyogre and almost completely destroyed the Rhyperior with those double super effective moves. The opponent is going to go for the Moonblast. No attack drop here, but the Moonblast gets the shield, and Kyogre is going to go for the Waterfall down. It just needs to get to a Surf against this Rhyperior, and this game is over. Moonblast not even going to come close to doing enough damage here, but oh, wait a minute. No, we're going to be able to just get, okay. We're going to be able to get to 1 Waterfall, and then this, even if the opponent shields us, they're on 1 HP, and they're going to go down. They know it, and they're going to go ahead and just let that go. Good game. Getting into the next game here against a regional trainer. I don't know if they're a regional champion or not, but I recognize the name. They go to the regionals quite a bit. They're running Dragonite Double Steel, and they're going to find out why that is a bad idea here in this game. I don't know if they're running Double Steel, but I would imagine that by running Metagross, they're going for that Dragonite Double Steel team that does very well in general if you don't have any of these, XL legendaries, but unfortunately Metagross is going to be met by a Kyogre here. Now, we didn't come in with the Rhyperior. It makes sense because the Rhyperior would take super effective damage from these bullet punches despite giving super effective damage back with the Mud Slap. So it kind of trades off and not necessarily going to be in the favor of the Rhyperior, but perhaps we were expecting the Excadrill, and the team read is successful as Rhyperior is going to be able to come into this Excadrill and just obliterate it with these Mud Slaps. Mud Slap is doing so much damage to the Excadrill, and the opponent, having 2 shields and nowhere to put them, is going to have to deal with a flurry of Breaking Swipes, and B. Richley's fine to just let this go because Enamorus double resists every move on Dragonite's oh, he does, he shields it. Okay, last second, wait, that wasn't a shield, that just didn't take him out. Dragon Claw's not enough, good game. Getting into the next game, we got a Kyogre on the lead. This already spells disaster for me, as it sounds just like Kyogre Double Charm. So we'll have to see how Bree Richley responds here with this Enamorus. Rhyperior may be doing okay in the back as long as he can land it on a Charm Primarina. Primarina in the back, just in general, is kind of bad for this back line, but we're going to see how Bree Richley looks to take it as he eats the Surf, and the opponent now comes in with a Waterfall Primarina. Not nearly as bad for the Kyogre here, but not great for this Rhyperior. So it's good that we're able to bait this out here, but the opponent having Waterfall could... Whoa, never mind, they just let it go. They don't want to get the spell. They didn't want to spend their final shield on the Primo, so they let the Thunder go because they assumed that we were not running Thunder. Trainer, no, 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 no. And now in comes the Rhyperior, and Rhyperior is going to be able to withstand a lot of these charms. It has a very good amount of bulk here for the Master League, a very high amount of stat product. Aura Sphere, going to get the shield, and in comes the Kyogre, but Bree Richley's content to just go for this Rock Wrecker here and try to destroy the poor soul of this little Kyogre that could. Now, we've already seen one loss, so we know this is going to be a win. How is he going to pull it off? The opponent not going to be able to get to... Just take it out. He gets to the Rock Wrecker, surely. Going to be able to survive the waterfalls with 1 HP. Gets to the Rock Wrecker. Dude, this is close as hell with the heck. Rock Wrecker taking out Togekiss because we can.
Boom!
Get your Double Charm skillless tappy tap team out of here, trainer. Oh, that was it? Well, that's a good way to end the video. We love taking out Double Charm. Taking a 5-0 with Enamorus. And I didn't get to see his elo, but he looked pretty darn close to veteran if he wasn't already. So congratulations on the nice run with Enamorus, trainer. I'm definitely jealous of this Pokemon, and I wish I had one because it looks like it would do very well in the meta, but unfortunately, we can't all get... no offense to Bree Richley, because I know him, he's an absolute Giga Chad, but like... Nobody's going out to do those elite raids, man. They got to bring it back and give it to people so they can use it. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this really spicy, totally inaccessible Enamorus pick in the Master League, and you're as jealous as I am and wish you had one. But it's going to do it for me for today, guys. Thank you very much. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.